Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the test account and the new patch notes are up. Now I haven't looked at them, I haven't went through them. Overall, a lot of rumors were going over on Reddit and Discord saying that it is going to be a Celestial hero, which is kind of crazy right after an Awakened hero and a Hypo hero. It's incredible to see the Draconic heroes. So let's go ahead, let's break down these notes and see if it is true with the version update. And it looks like it is exactly what they were saying. We've seen the Dolly sneak peek, added the new Celestial hero, Lysander, the Eternal Gambit. So agility-based ranger. I thought the last one we just got was an agility based ranger. Maybe I'm off on that one. So sees all the other heroes on the battlefield as chess pieces, each with a different effect. Matching heroes wisely to give your allies maximum advantage. Very interesting dynamic in there, but this is another hero you're going to need diamonds or you're going to need Stargazer scrolls to go ahead and pick up out of the summons itself. I know we used quite a few on the YouTube account to actually pick up the last hero, but it is another Celestial hero, which means I believe now out of the last 12, maybe last 12 iterations, we've only had one that is regular for faction hero. I know a lot of players were super upset. They were making comments about that. And I know it seems to ring true as well, but hopefully there are some major changes within this patch because that's what we've been waiting for. So the arena trials are here, and then the Eternal Gambit event or his Bountiful trials are up as well. So new launch, the Warm Reunion. You'll prepare the banquet and boost the progression of all servers, which we've seen again. So that's just kind of a rework right there. The Poetic Pop Quiz, again, activating and answering daily questions. That is another rework. Mystic Star Zone is another rework. So Mystic Star Zone, again, will have the comprised of the few different days, 3 days of the enrollment period, 1 day of matching, 3 days of battle. Misty Valley is up as well. We know right now the Misty Valley already reset over on the global server, so that's up. Again, another rework. Nightmare Corridor, new boss in there. Maybe the replace the Bloodvine with the Abysmal Murmur, which I believe that is an older boss. King's Tower, so adding more floors into that King's Tower. 2550 to 2600. Guys, I have to farm the King's Tower like crazy. I can get an incredible amount of diamonds. We're over level 1000 on the YouTube account. We're at King's Tower level, I believe 18 something. So if we can go up there, bringing the total number of floors right there to 2650 in totality. Faction towers are also going to 1560 within the faction towers, which is kind of crazy. Game adjustments, we have Nox in here and no updates again. I know Don had promised these and kind of talked about these going back to 2024 when he said, reworking the bosses. A lot of things they were working on. And it's weird because we're not seeing the updates. We're not seeing the changes. We're not seeing anything when it comes to the classic version of AFK Arena, which I still don't like that they call it the classic version, but we're also not seeing anything on the companion side either. As far as updates, they're just rolling over the same heroes. So don't know exactly what Lilith is doing with either game, including I know a lot of people are upset looking at AFK Journey with the direction of that game and how they're doing it. So I don't know. I'm at a loss right now. At this point, I've stopped spending entirely in the game just to kind of wait to see what happens. There's no reason to dump money month after month after month to go ahead and just make the same progression or make no progression or have the same events that we've always had. Now, another thing that we've seen here over on the test server is Lyrical Exploration came up. Now, if you're familiar, this is one where you do events within the game itself. It unlocks a chest. And if you look at the reward preview in here, look at the heroes. So Morrow isn't used, Anasa is not used, Edwin is not used, Flora is not used, and then Tricia is still in a very, very, very niche formation. But if you don't ever build out or really built well, there's no reason to use her. So literally, they are giving us heroes within here that are falling into that C, D, E tier. Just based on utility, based on where we're actually seeing them, which again, they could very easily update this to make it prevalent to what we're seeing today. I mean, when you think of Wukong, when you think of Flora, they've pretty much been given in this chest ever since release. We have always seen the copies of Wukong. We've always seen the copies of Flora through pretty much all of the events. It's the only Celestials and Hypos they give us for events like that it's really built out. Now, we also do have a couple other events that are up, and they're both up on the global servers, which is the Lost Sigils. Again, looking at the breakdown of what we have in here for the exchanges and everything else. But going through here and looking at the heroes that are available, it's kind of the same thing. They could go in here, they could update, even looking at Tarnos, looking at Vithio, looking at, Mahira, looking at Kelthan. None of those heroes are meta anymore. None of those are used. Then, of course, we do have Wukong down here. So this is one where you're kind of forced to only get resources at all. And then, of course, looking at our Heroes of Espria, if you're going in here and if you're joining this is all about resources. You don't have the ability to get heroes or anything. But again, this is the same thing that we've seen. So you want to push to Masters. This is the sweet spot. This is where you want to be, is pushing into Masters. Once you do hit the Masters League, you will not fall out of Masters. That's the big thing. So if you can push with an account, you can push all the way to Masters. And of course, you do get your Stargazer Scrolls, which are going to help you build the new hero. You do get some of the Legendary Bazaar Totems, which are really the only thing that they've added in an incredible amount of time. And then even the season rewards, if you can get into Masters, right here, pretty good rewards overall. You do get your league points, which again have never been updated. And then your faction scrolls do not get the common scrolls to have a chance at a Celestial, a Hypo, or an Awakened hero. So going in here and getting these out are really the solid choice. Get some tier 4 stones. And like I said, though, when we start looking at some things like a different iteration or another iteration of the Misty Valley, this again is a place where when you get into, gives you an incredible amount of rewards, but it hasn't been updated. They added the Draconic Scrolls. I know we added a couple levels, which is crazy to think because I believe that was years ago at this point. And then they didn't even do a Misty Valley for Envy, which again, I don't understand, where we used to get more resources out of there. So essentially, without having the Voyage of Wonder for Envy, we lost out on some resources right there because we didn't have the ability to get those additional 10 of our time emblems overall. So guys, kind of crazy to see. Like I said, that means patch notes are going to be in 2 more weeks. I don't know what they're doing with it, what the fate of the game is going to be. Temple Rift again is just kind of on the repeat. Bountiful Trials, everything. I mean, they're not introducing anything new. I don't know if they're planning to do it the 6th anniversary, if they're going to revamp a lot of things. I shared with you guys Raid and how Raid does the bosses. It's incredible to see the clan, the build, the clan quest. Honestly, how they did it out, I feel like they could incorporate that very easy. When it comes to AFK Arena, when it comes to even just going in the guild aspect, having a lot of, guild specific quests would be amazing to see if we went in here and actually did something with the guild, but also guild bosses within the guild hunt. This is the same thing again that we've kind of seen for the last 6 years with AFK Arena, not really change in any of the bosses. Now the Nightmare Corridor is the only place they're really introducing new bosses, because most of the ones that we're seeing in the Cursed Realm again are just kind of the same rotation when we start looking down through here. That what we're seeing. So literally the only place we're seeing them are Nightmare Corridor. And it's sad because Nightmare Corridor is literally where you kill the boss in 20 seconds. And then that's it. So hopefully, guys, the new hero, I'm not sure if it's going to be busted. We're going to have to see exactly what it looks like after Envy being so powerful, in consuming a ton of different resources. I don't even have them at a 60 engraving at this point, just because of using the resources to build other heroes like Scion and a few other ones. But guys, that's going to do it for today's patch notes. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.